when a living UFO told a pilot that it was from this galaxy and that it meant well. The strange incident occurred November 4th, 1968, on a flight from London to Alicante and was witnessed by the pilot, co-pilot, a flight engineer, and a flight attendant. Crew Commander Juan Ignacio Lorenzo Torres was an Air Force officer for 40 years, piloted King Juan Carlos de Borbon's plane, was a fighter pilot in the Sahara, and director of an aviation school. In short, he was a very experienced pilot with combat experience who can be described as a high-level professional with over 28,000 hours of flight time. That's what we call demonic orcs, who are quick to put everyone down with words like conspiracy theories that say that. However, what he was to experience that day flying in Iberia's Caravel IB-0249 would surpass anything he had seen in the air. When flying near Sagunto, Valencia, he descended to an altitude in a cloud top, noticed some turbulence, and at the moment, a huge light approached at high speed and on a collision course with his plane, causing fear in the plane cabin. But it stopped about 30 feet from the nose of the Caravel plane that the commander Torres was flying. When flying near Segundo, Valencia, he descended to the altitude in the cloud top. It stopped about 30 feet from the nose of the Caravel. The object remained there for a few minutes, maintaining such a distance, but turning and moving from side to side. At this point, the experienced pilot took the microphone to speak to control tower on the energy channel and said they had unknown traffic on the horizon. According to his description, quote, the light looked like a very large human eye with two grayish side lights. Similarly, it had something like veins through which a kind of a fluid circulated and pulsated as if it were a living organism, the pilot described. After calling the flight attendant to have another witness to what they were seeing, the pilot tried something with an intention of communicating with a strange object or thing. He established a simple code of lights that were one change meant a positive response and two a negative response. And he said, every time we changed the light, it did the same thing. And if we turned on the lights, it would turn on too. It was clear that it was responding to us. According to the governor of the plane, the pilot, he's asked about 20 questions. The first three are you from this galaxy? Do you have friendly intentions? Are you a manned vessel? The UFO answered these first questions in the affirmative with a single flash. After this type of telepathic communication, the object disappeared towards the African continent at the same speed as it had appeared. The concealment. A day after the landing, he made a pact of silence to his crew so that they would not be considered crazy. The pilot was called Lieutenant Colonel Antonio Alu Padreni, who at the time was in charge of the warning and control networks in the area from Barcelona, Spain. And he said, the lieutenant colonel asked me a lot about UFO encounters. At the time, the military was very open and informed me that the Air Force commander was aware of what had happened and that the air surveillance radars of Siesta, Samba, Kansas, Embargo, and even Seville had detected 3 unidentified moving objects in coordination with my plane for a while, he said. They showed me the radar data, and I even asked for the hard copy of the data, including the conversation with the object, and they gave it to me on the condition that this information not be made public. However, after the incident began to leak to the press, the lieutenant colonel, along with another soldier, showed up at the pilot's home in Madrid and demanded that he immediately give him everything he had that was not his. But it was too late, and the incident outgrew secrecy, and the press finally discovered it. The case was formalized. A pseudo-investigator was appointed to this case, and the guy in an official memo said that the crew of flight IB-0249 had only seen, quote, the planet Venus. Crafts from other worlds? But if we stick to what the witnesses reported and not to the orcs of the gangs who try and downplay all this as being fake, the reason they hid such topics goes beyond even science fiction movies. Imagination that not only the masses have imagined, but also those who claim to be researchers, because they themselves are not spiritual but materialistic and therefore cannot understand the conspiracy that is in front of their eyes. And of course, they do not even know true recent history while it is directly related. But many of them have become rich by selling books. And if someone asks all of them what they themselves have found without invoking other people's religions and books, they don't know how to answer that. The planet Venus does not approach planes, as we know, and it does not move away and does not perform direct or parabolic maneuvers, movements made by this flying human eye before communication with light signals had done this. I have been flying saucers since I was 17. I've been flying, the pilot said, since I was 17, and I know that the human body cannot withstand g-forces greater than 5. If this limit is exceeded, loss of consciousness occurs. It does not matter what anti-gravity suit you are wearing, the pilot said. This object defied all laws of physics. It would fly at a right angle and then suddenly jump from one point to the other, and it was crazy. In later statements, the commander admitted that he did not believe in UFOs until he had this experience, and he now asserts that they, quote-unquote, are here in our skies. Considering their unattainable and incomprehensible technological capabilities, I have no doubt that these are spacecraft from other worlds. The day will come when our civilization will realize that we are being visited by intelligent and hyper-technological beings. I hope that one day we will pull our heads out of the hole and abandon our current ostrich policy, he said. This I've translated from a Greek article for you. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.